You said what? You don't believe me? Well, here it is right here. Runaway Island Pond girl found, picked up in Florida. Why did she run away? Jeffrey Hare, Border Patrol agent, was sexually assaulting and abusing my daughter. And with that being said, I'm going to tell you what happened. 2006, I made note that I was leaving with my family at the end of the school year. I asked for all of their school records to be sent. Mary Hare never sent Brianna's medical records, nor did she ever send them to the provided information of the school address for Claremont, Florida, where Brianna was going to be attending her first year of high school. Okay, so Kiana, I had already requested her records. Savannah was starting kindergarten, and they all had gone with me to Florida, one-on-one, mother-daughter, to be enrolled in school and see where we were going to be living, get acquainted with the area. Well, it seems to be that Mary Hare and the school of Brighton Elementary in Island Pond, Vermont, as well as some of the other people involved in the sex trafficking, didn't believe that they wanted my children to go anywhere, so they filed false reports. Now, knowing that it's been brought to my attention several different times throughout the years that Amy LeClaire, the state trooper, was providing alcohol for the kids, so I brought that forward. Nobody's ever investigated her. That is Derby Barracks, Vermont State Police. Yeah, she's still there in 22, okay? And TJ Donovan, who is the overseer of all of these people. Now, knowing that, again, I can't show you people this enough. Jeff Hare sexually assaulted and physically abused my daughter, so she ran away. Well, she got on an airplane and she flew her ass to Orlando, Florida. She told me on the phone one night that she was going to, and I begged her not to run away like that because I was scared for her life. Well, she did, and it was with all desperation. I didn't know that this was happening. And so I made Vermont State Police aware of where my daughter was and that she was safe. They said they weren't going to do anything. But 10 days later, DCF had sent Claremont police officer, Mr. Rodriguez. They were pounding on my door like I was a fucking criminal. And I was living in a condo. So it had to have been January of 2009 when this took place. Living in a condo and working at Subway like I was directed to do, which was a violation of my, disability at the time. So knowing that Vermont had me under scrutiny, telling me that I had to work a full-time job or I wouldn't be able to see my kids, knowing that I was on 100% disability was a violation of my disability. Anyways, we'll get into that after. But the fact is, Brianna ran away. And they came and got her. Well, once they realized what was going on, Mr. Rodriguez was in tears and didn't want to let her go. Well, I also believe that the other person involved in that is another sex trafficking perpetrator from, Disney World, okay? His name was Juan Santos. I believe he was part of the sex trafficking of my daughter down there. Yes. He rides around with bikers and stuff like that. Yep, I'm going to tell you, we'll get into that again later. So, knowing that they took my daughter from me where she was safe and she was fine, and Officer Rodriguez, if he's still alive today, he will attest to that, testify. And so they put Brianna in a detention center and wouldn't allow her any contact with me in Ocala, Florida. Then they flew her back to Vermont. So that would be considered kidnapping because all of this was under false pretenses right from the beginning. Would that be considered, in contempt of organized conspired crime to defraud the government and all kinds of stuff? So we're looking at USC 242, 1983, USC 18241, 240, all of them involved, okay? So color of law, violation of my rights, human rights, civil rights, disability rights, all kinds of rights, my daughter's, everybody's rights, okay? So, and mind you, this happened in 2007 through 2022, still happening today. Brianna was found to have been abused, right? Jeff Hare, right? You abused my daughter? And so she ran away at desperation, and then she was put back into the system. Then she was put into a kids group home called Kathy Richardson up in Danville. The Department of Children and Family Services, Newport, Vermont, you are under scrutiny. I am filing lawsuit against you for all of what you've done to me and my family and all the pain and suffering my daughter is still going through to date. Now, Jeffrey Hare and Mary Hare live in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and I am going to dedicate this right here to Plymouth, Massachusetts, YouTube, because the fact that they are harboring and allowing this person to be recognized as a great citizen and a civilian, okay? I'm the great citizen and civilian. I have roots here. My grandpa was the first here. First sheriff. He overseen the court system, and I'm pretty sure that he's rolling in his grave right now. But my grandma, I'm pretty sure that she's pretty proud of me standing up for my rights, for the constitutional rights and human rights. I'm telling you right now, Jeffrey Hare sexually assaulted and physically assaulted my daughter, sex trafficked my daughter, and when I made the complaint to the courts with Brianna in 2021, after receiving all the documentation that we have throughout the case files, Brianna and I started getting abused by what I believe to be their informant. Paid informant by Department of Human Services. He gets his rent paid. He gets staged. You know, they put informants everywhere, okay? And so with that being said, he was abusing me and was found to have been abusing me through a restraining order in the courts back in April 2021. It's going to expire soon, but I'm going to ask for a continuance on it because, you see, he's continuing to keep my grandson away from me, and there's a no contact order that they frivolously refuse to take out of. The court allowed Vermont State Police to charge me falsely, accepting false statements and fictitious reports from Vermont State Police and from my abuser. We've already proven that my innocence. So why is it that he hasn't been charged? He would be the one that was a 22-year-old that was staying with my daughter and having sex with her in Jeff Hare's house. Was it being filmed, Mary? And Jeff, were you filming that? Were you making sex tapes out of my daughter? I'm asking you that publicly because I am a very concerned mother and I have proof of what you've done to my daughter. And I want answers. So therefore, I'm requesting answers. And again, this is dedicated to Plymouth, Massachusetts, Jeffrey and Mary Hare. Stay tuned because I have a whole lot more and I got paperwork I'm going to pull out of my vehicle and I'm going to share it with you today. This is Happy St. Patrick's Day 2022.